Hello. Welcome. So, how's everybody doing? Welcome to the new Friday stream. Oh yeah, that's Steve the cephalopod. He's a octopus. Hi Thomas. Hey Monsieur. And Time Traveler and Death Blossom. Hi everybody. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I'm Ben. I make music for video games. You probably know me from FTL, or possibly Into the Breach. And I'm currently working on the soundtrack to Subnautica Below Zero, which is the standalone DLC for Subnautica. And to be clear, I was not involved in the original Subnautica. Time Traveler asks, heard you ordered an Oculus Quest. Are you going to try Subnautica VR? I have actually tried Subnautica VR. I played it with my... I have actually the original Kickstarter backer Oculus Rift, and I love it. But I'm very excited for the social aspect of the Quest, since you don't need to hook it up to anything and you can bring it around to other people's places. I'm very excited about that. I have a lot of friends who enjoy VR too, and so I think this would be a really fun way to make VR a more social activity. Hey, Salty Balty. And hey, Zorkind. Well, so, you may notice something different. That's right, we're using Cubase 10. This is my first real attempt at like actually making something with it. I still don't even know all of the features of Cubase 10. I'm still trying to like learn about the updates from previous versions that I missed. So I'm just going through Steinberg's update videos from years ago when they like updated from 7.5, which was my last one, to 8, and then to 9, and then to 10. I already like the new workflow. The split window, a split workspace is really nice. So today, this is what I've been working on this week. It's a track for the Kelp Caves, which are an earlier part of the game that I just happen to not actually work on music for yet. So that's what I've been doing this week. Alright, let's get rid of these. So yeah, so I don't know of all the new features yet. Like I said, I'm still learning, so I'm just trying to get used to the interface. I'm redoing some shortcuts that I use, like reassigning shortcut keys. Let me turn this up. And still just trying to get used to it, although it's very similar to the original, or the last version of Cubase. And some of you have probably already used 10, so you already know a lot about this. But so far I'm really liking the new workflow, and it's definitely like, you can tell that like it's it's a new version of the same software where they like all the little problems that I had from the previous software they've like fixed. Yep, yeah, Monsieur's right. It's a little dangerous to change software during a project. However, I can still run 7.5 just fine. Like I just have both of them installed. And previously, I've upgraded Cubase and had no problems. This is the first time where I've actually had problems, but yeah, Zorkind is right. It's the same software. It's still Cubase. It's just the newest version of Cubase. Hey, Laserwolf. I did update to Cubase 10. We were just talking about it. And still kind of learning what the updates are. Anyway, let's take a listen to this piece. This is for the Kelp Caves region in the game. So that's it so far. It's you know, it's kind of early. Still trying to figure out like percussion. So the kelp caves are kind of a twisty cavern system that you find early in the game, and it has the sea monkey nests, and you can get blueprints from the sea monkey nests because they build them with like refuse. And it's a bit confusing. It's not particularly dangerous in there, so I'm kind of keeping the music a bit more chill. And it's also more confined, so I'm like trying to not have it as like epic and echoey sounding as some of the other tracks. But yeah, so it's still very early. I'm still kind of like just adding stuff to it. I don't really know where it's gonna go from here. But this was the original part. It's an arpeggio. Essentially, each arpeggiated part changes one note. So it allows for like a kind of a slow movement that's not jarring. And then it repeats. Oh yeah, so you can see both things at once now. You can see like the editor. Anyway, you get the idea there. And then that's one thing, and then we have this. This is a preset that I've sort of saved for a while to use with Subnautica, and I don't know if I've used it for anything yet. And then that just repeats. So also a very simple thing. We're going to keep it really simple for this track. I don't want to get too crazy with it. Thomas asked a good question. How many projects do you usually do at the same time? Do you focus on one, or do you have time for 2 or 3? So that's a good question, because I recently sort of tried to change my policy. So I used to just take as many projects as I thought I could take. And then that turned out to be really stressful and difficult. And it made each individual project like not enjoyable to work on. So yeah, so now I try very hard to just have one project at a time. So right now, like, I'm only focusing on Below Zero and nothing else, and it is way less stressful now. But I also have an advantage in where I have a good amount of income, so I'm not pressured to take as many projects as I possibly can. So, yeah. Gutshiro? Gutshiro asks, is Omnisphere your main VSTI for most of your soundtracks? It is now. Like, it's definitely the main component, or one of the main components of Below Zero. I got it maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and been using it ever since. I love Omnisphere. It's very easy to make something that sounds really good very quickly. It has a lot of the features that many other different synths have, but it's like far simpler to put things together. So that's what I love about it. And it's like built-in library is really good. Okay, so then the other thing I have is this. This is also really simple. Oh, let's open this up in the editor here. Very simple, and then this is another synth. It's kind of heavily compressed. Oh, whoops. I have to open it up. I don't know about this one. I'm gonna have to edit it a little bit. The distortion does sound kind of cool when it's compressed, so I may change it, but I might EQ it a little here and there. I'm not sure yet. And then this one. Oops, keep forgetting to... That's a great sound. That's from Massive. It's one of the few non-Omnisphere synths that I'm using. Zorkand asked, do you do freelance stuff too? Well, technically all of my work is freelance. For example, if I make a song for a game, would you be open to assist or enhance on work on what I do? I do not have time to work on any other projects. Thanks for the offer, but sorry. Too busy. And then, oops, oh, no, oh, that's Lane's. So then we've got our little, like, drum kit here, and I've been experimenting with different sounds for it. Like, I'm experimenting with a different hi-hat sound, so it's like this versus this. And this is where I left off on the project, so I haven't really like figured out what I'm gonna stick with here. I think that needs to be quieter. Yeah, man, the split, I didn't realize how nice like the having the split view would be. Like, I had no idea. I was like, I don't need the split view. It'd be too cluttered, but it's already super nice. It's a lot faster, a lot easier to make quick changes to like a MIDI part that I love. Oh, Phoebe's here. Hey, Phoebe. Laserwolf asks, do you make sure to have contracts signed before you start work on a project? Yes, always. I don't know if you guys heard that. But... Hi, Phoebe. I can't play with you right now. I'm sorry. Go play with your sister. Sure, she would love to. Okay, so I don't actually like the placement of these. You're so far away. I'm gonna move this. A sharp or B flat 3. There it is. Move over here. Swap places. Where is that? Yeah, there it is. That'll be much more readable. So grab this. Move it down 2 measures. Yeah, now they're right next to it. This. Swap these. I gotta redo my shortcuts for moving around markers. Okay, that's a good start. That's pretty good. Typing in commands into the chat accidentally. Here we go. Okay, so we've got that down. That sounds pretty good for now. Now I want to alter this part that we can set up. Oh no! my shortcuts for marking, putting the loop markers in are gone. I gotta figure out how to do that. Well, we'll just mess around with it normally. Phoebe, you gotta chill out. Phoebe. You guys can't hang on. I'm gonna turn off the I'm gonna turn off the filter so you guys can hear this. Hey Phoebe. Nope, she gave up. And there's Phoebe Tail. If we move that. Oh, that's nice. Phoebe's thinking about climbing on top of the speaker, which she's not allowed to do. Okay, she's not doing it. Got a question from Enkido. Why Cubase? I get that question so often that I put it in the FAQ section below. Basically, I use Cubase because it was recommended to me by a professional when I was just starting out, back in like 2003. And now I use Cubase because I'm really, really good at it. I also use Ableton for live shows. No, don't apologize. Okay. Don't worry about it. Also, speaking of which, I also put a very basic, quick and dirty beginner's guide to making music with your computer in similar manner to the way I do it. And yeah, I wrote it, and it's down below. You can check it out if you're kind of interested in starting out, but don't know where to start. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so we'll get rid of these two and just replace it with this. And then this, yeah, I don't really care for that either, so we're gonna replace it with that. Hey, Herfmuth. Okay, here's another cool thing with the split view is down here. It's kind of hard to see with my setup here, but you have different tabs for what you're viewing on the bottom window. So we can go to the mix console and just have this out, which is also really nice. Hey, thank you for this. Hey, thank you both for the subscription. Sorry, Sonic M00, thank you, or Sonic Moo. Anyway, thank you for the subscription, and also Thomas, thank you for the subscription. I really do appreciate it a lot. One thing I learned was that they added for to 2.5, or not 2.5. I'm sorry. One thing I know they added to Cubase 8, because I'm watching those update videos to get up to speed, since I'm several versions behind here, is you can take multiple tracks like this, like these two. You select both of them, and you say add VCA fader to selected channels, and then it adds this new fader that manipulates both of them relative to each other. So check this out. It's super nice. Normally you'd have to do something like that with like routing buses. Which I dislike doing because it's confusing. So I like that because, especially with drum kits, you usually split them out into multiple parts so that you can change the volume, but then like altering the volume of the whole set is more difficult. So this is like a great feature. And then you can also still modify the original ones without changing anything. I already don't know where that was, so well. Anyway, let's hear this drum kit with the whole set now. I also had these other chords here, but I'm not really sure if I like them or not. If I can come up with like a good melody that fits with that, I might do that, but might use it. I mean, but maybe not right now. Just cleaning some stuff up here. Oops, that goes there. Whoops, no. Hey, Disparity. Welcome. Glad you could make it. my school issues iPads and they block the Twitch app, so I'm on Safari. Wow, that blocking wasn't all that effective, huh? Time Traveler, the fact that you can play Minecraft in class is just astounding to me at all. Sorry, okay. Oh, now it's Maddie's turn. Hi, Maddie. Yeah, I should be using the key cam, huh? like that. Let's go with that. Keep that. Actually, let's move that to it. I think that's where it should be in all the measures. I must have messed that up before. Sounds way more interesting. So yeah, you're kind of getting to see like me writing a melody. So I started out with the keyboard to kind of feel my way through it, and now I'm just sort of adding notes just with the program. Hi, Matt. Sometimes, if I'm not entirely sure what to do, I'll know like a note that I'm trying to get to, like I'll hear it in my head. Actually, I'm not really sure about that. But sometimes I'll be like, I know a note that I want to get to, and I'll place it, and then sort of write a melody to get to that note. Plagiarized asks, keyboards are common for digital composers, though, right? Yes, very common. In fact, I would recommend, if you are getting into digital composing, like definitely get a keyboard, or otherwise you will find it a bit difficult. Even if you can't play it, like I'm not a particularly great player, but all software instruments, their interface is built assuming that you are going to be using a MIDI keyboard of some kind. So it's pretty important to have that. Laserwolf asks, what reverb are you using? Well, it depends. For this particular thing, this Horizon thing, I don't actually remember, so we're gonna take a look. Most of the time for Below Zero, I'm using Valhalla Room, which is amazing. For this, I'm using Valhalla Room for this too, yeah. Valhalla Room is an amazing, inexpensive reverb VST plugin, and I love it. And I'm using it extensively in Below Zero. The reason I got it was that I was getting a bit sick of my built-in reverbs, and I've been using them for basically all of my projects. And I had heard about Valhalla Room, and it sounded cool in the videos I watched, so I was like, this will be perfect for Below Zero. Let's listen to the whole thing. We've been working on this one melody for a while, so we're gonna go back and start from the beginning. Okay, see you later, time traveler. I'm not too into it anymore now that I've heard it. Kind of quiet for one thing. Yeah, I'm gonna mute that for now. I don't think it belongs there, so I'm gonna try to add other stuff instead. Actually, here's an idea. Maybe it's just the instrument I don't like. It's a little better. I like it a little bit better there, but I still think I want to like let the song breathe a bit more. Let's go back and listen again. Hi, Kane. And hi, Marion. You're welcome. This is it's something I've always wanted to do, and I started doing it a couple of years ago, and I love doing it. And as always, if anyone has any questions about game music, indie game development, feel free to ask, or whatever. Making music with computers, being an indie, starting out. Okay, so this is an instrument that I made for the Twisty Bridges area. Some of you might recognize that sound. I haven't really used it for... I think this might be a good place to use it. I haven't used it for anywhere else other than that Twisty Bridges area. Hey, thank you for the subscription, Jagpag. I appreciate it. This is a vocal part. It's like heavily processed vocals. Hey, thank you for the subscription. Marion asks, what got you into this direction of developing music for games? It's something I always sort of wanted to do. I always wanted to get into games, even when I was like a teenager. And I originally wanted to do like game design and programming, but I'm not a very good programmer, and I couldn't get into the schools that I wanted to. So I'm mostly self-taught, and it's just something I wanted to do and pursued it for years. It took me about 12 years or more. Yeah, something like that. Actually, we'll just program that in. Let's try that. Let's see how that sounds. Yeah, there's a perception, a very easy perception to make, and I've gotten it a lot. That like FTL was the very first time I made any music for a game, and that I was like in my early 20s when it happened. Like the way people imagine my career is, if they don't know already, is that I went to some kind of prestigious music school, and because I was a some kind of like savant with music, and right after getting out of music school, I worked on FTL, and then it came out. And that's not at all how it happened. I've always been very bad at music. I even failed band class in high school. And I was 29 when FTL came out. It was a very long road to get to where I am now. And there was a lot of failure on the way. Kill that. Well, the developers didn't exactly find me. It was sort of friend of a friend thing. I had a friend who was old college friends with the programmer for FTL, and my friend knew that I was looking for music work, and that I was making music for various smaller games, and asked if I wanted to do music for this space game that his friend was working on that needed music. And so I played a little bit of it, and then he connected me with them, and they asked for me to do some kind of like little preliminary work to show what I could do. And so I spent a whole weekend working super hard, making a piece that I thought would fit the game really well, and that became the title screen music for FTL, and they liked it, and that's how I got paired up with them. And FTL became an unexpected hit. It was massive, and then that was like changed my whole life. Kind of like that. Maybe we'll do that. Oh, I like this one. Oh, get rid of these, get rid of these. Hey, thanks, Guts. Darkside was really fun to work on. And it was fun to do a bit more like story-based game. And they gave me a lot of freedom to just kind of do what I wanted, which was really fun. Marion asks, how much time do you spend a day making music on average? On average, I don't know. But if I do spend a day making music and it goes well enough that I'm doing it for several hours, it's probably like somewhere between 4 and 6 hours writing music. Yeah, we were going for like the kind of John Carpenter-esque 80s vibe for Dark Side Detective. But it was fun because because the story goes in a lot of different weird directions, I was able to kind of branch out and do other styles. Like for like Nigel, the Nigel story and the library, got to do like have a different vibe. Maybe we need like a bass line. What's that like? Marion, I don't quite understand your question. I'm in the process of finishing my build of my computer. I'm running into an issue of figuring out whether my motherboard or my CPU is the issue. What's the issue? Oh, Zorkin, that's intentional. Just a little delay on the snare. It won't boot. I had a single run with it. It could, if it doesn't boot, it could be the RAM is not seated properly. When I used to do computer repair, diagnostics and repair for servers at Google, that was like the most common reason a machine wouldn't boot, is if the RAM was like, if the RAM got just a little bit like unseated properly, it wouldn't work anymore. Nothing would happen when you turned it on. That's what I was going for. Let's go back to the beginning. Okay, see you later, Marion. Thanks for coming by. This, I don't remember. Kind of fun. like it in theory, but it's not. It'll sound great in practice. Oops, I didn't mess anything up on the stream. Keep accidentally changing what window I'm using. Whoa, you know what? That's kind of cool. Hmm. We're just gonna mute it for now because I can't find any interesting thing to do with it. I don't want to add too many instruments because I do kind of like it being really simple. This piece, I mean. I don't remember what this is. These are presets that I saved. This is all over the soundtrack. This. I don't want it to sound too much like the other pieces, so I'm gonna keep that out for now. This track is for the Kelp Caves. It's an early cave system in Below Zero. Yeah, I don't even know if that's going to be interesting or not. Let's go back and listen to the whole thing. And then we'll probably cut it for today. But I will be back next week. For sure. Alright, well, thank you everybody for coming. I hope you enjoyed the new Friday stream. And I will be back on Tuesday. And I will see you all then. I'll hopefully have some new stuff to share. And it'll be great. But yeah, thank you everybody. And I will see you next week. We'll play us out one more time here. And thank you everybody for coming by. Thanks for being a fan. And have a good week and a good weekend.